Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Shabbat Shalom. Man, I hope everybody's having a blessed day, getting some rest. I definitely got some good rest, got some good sleep, letting this body recover, just the way the Most High Yah tells us to do via his word. Man, thankful for the Most High Yah allowing us to be able to get out there and labor righteously for 6 days, and then due to our belief, enter into this rest which many do not enter because of unbelief. Man, if you did not tune in to the message Shep that gave today, it was titled Sabbath Service, Spiritual Warfare, Jezebel. And today I'm gonna hit on some very key things, a lot of which, some of these verses Shep already hit on, but I'm gonna take you in a deeper direction, just coming behind the teaching that he gave. And I tell you, it's getting more and more evident that I can prepare these teachings not knowing what Shep Shabbat's teaching is gonna be. And I have these things prepared, have my little notes and things like that. And it's been lining up. It's been lining up. So all praise to the Most High Yah, But today's Sabbath message is about lead and supporting roles. It's very important in truth and in righteousness, living a life of holiness, that we know, about the lead and supporting roles. This is often something referenced when it comes to movies, but men out here, when you think about it, to serve the Most High Yah and for, Messiah to be our head, and Messiah, Yahshua HaMashiach, serving the will of the Most High Yah, we are in a supporting role. When it comes to the structure of the family, headship and authority, men out here, you are in a leading role. Okay, man, today there's going to be a lot of what do you call it, like in a rap battle, there's going to be a lot of punchlines. And chances are, if you're somebody that's coming out of Christendom, Sunday Sun worship, Nimrod worship, getting ready to celebrate Nimrod worship on the 25th, chances are you're on the side of the rap battle rooting for Hasatan and you don't even know it. Because there's going to be a lot of heavy punches, but these punches come in love, rather than to tickle ears, to keep folk lukewarm, to teach deceit. Nah, this is the truth. Okay. So make sure spiritually, you see what I'm saying, that you really have ears to hear. Because here's the thing, this is one thing I know, and I've been talking about this week. Man, you have people that can listen to Tupac. They know every Tupac song, every Beyonce song, every Miley Cyrus song, every what's some other people out there? Every Kodak Black song, every Lil Boosie song, every Justin Bieber song, and you will listen to this stuff on repeat, and it ain't helping you righteously at all. It ain't helping you get nowhere to the kingdom. But when it comes to hearing the word of Yah and hitting those things that your average pulpit pimp won't hit, because he's sparing people's feelings by tickling ears, this is why they rush it. Give you an hour of music and then 30-45 minutes, with 3-4 verses in there, rushing that thing. And today, like a lot of this lawless R&B music, they always talking about take it slow. I'm gonna take this thing righteously, so we can get the word of Yah today. If you didn't check out the Sabbath service from Shep, Go back and check that out. Very critical. And that spiritual warfare, when the Messiah says, I did not come to bring peace but a sword, Shep was hitting on some of that spiritual warfare that's going to take place in the house. At the bottom of that verse, it says, your foe will be that of your own household. If you are a tender and supple, effeminate, soft, vain man, today a lot of these punches will make spirits manifest in you to where, you might be offended, but the word says, blessed is the one that's not offended in me. If you are a masculine sister, that wants to take a lead role in the house and you want to do things that's contrary to the word, chances are some spirits is going to manifest in you and you will be offended. You're going to be gnashing your teeth, and that's not going to change the message. Blessed is the one who's not offended in me. See, when it comes to the fruit of what we're seeing in families today, this is why we're seeing all this weird stuff. Soft, supple, effeminate, transformers and all this. This is why we're seeing this stuff, because on the surface, these people want you to think they're good, but they ain't following nothing righteous. And therefore, the fruit is going to show that. You look at all these celebrities that had these kids out here, and the man is just flaming as can be. It's a two-parent household, man just flaming as can be, questionable. And then the kids, same way, questionable. And we're going to get to the bottom of it, because I'll tell you, man, at this point in my Army career, the greatest experience I have on a daily basis is not the task that I do as far as communications and signaling, but it is when them soldiers, I have my door open, male and female, and they come in there and ask about, things pertaining to being a man, being a woman, being a husband and a wife. And I can minister them via the word without giving them the book, the chapter and verse, and they don't even realize that they're getting that. So that's truly the highlight at this point, of my career, and it will continue to be. And that's why, every day I can keep forward and keep going. In today's Shabbat message, we are learning the fundamental roles in a relationship, covenant or marriage covenant. Okay. Due to the workings of Hasatan, men and women struggle to find structure in relationships and suffer because it's not part of the teachings we receive as children. The main question when these soldiers, male and female, come to my office and ask, man, you always talk about your family. You always talk about your kids. You always show honor into your wife. What they don't realize is the fruit of the spirit is going to give you certain things. It's going to give you fruit. And when you don't have the spirit, you're not going to have that fruit. And one question I always ask when they come in, because I got a list of tasks that I got to do in order to fulfill my position, but my door is always open and they always wanting advice pertaining to life and how to be better men, better husbands, better wives, better women, better parents. So I always ask this question, who taught you how to be a father? Who taught you how to be a mother? Who taught you how to be a wife? Who taught you how to be a husband? What you realize is people are pretty much just replicating what they saw. And if they didn't see it in the home, they're replicating the same thing else that the world is trying to push on everybody. You see what I'm saying? The world right now is pushing these soft and supple men in they bag, men in they feeling, men with purse. They pushing this and gravitating to the culture because they don't have a solid foundation, righteous example of what they should have been seeing and growing up with, being taught by. You realize they just pretty much conform to the world, and that's contrary to the word. The problem we see today is men upset with the state of modern women and women upset with the state of modern men. Today, we will learn about the will of the Most High Yah when it comes to the structure between man and woman I will continually teach on this because this is one thing that, if you go to Sunday Sun Worship, you're going to hear a motivational message, but you're not going to hear nobody, pierce that wicked flesh, hoping that them spirits, will leave up out of you and you can experience deliverance. And for the sake of your family, y'all can prosper. Today, we will learn about the will of the Most High Yah when it comes to the structure between man and woman. I will continually teach on this because in order for the family to thrive, we must return to the will of Yah. You got a lot of people, men and women, that claim to love Yah that are living contrary to the word of Yah. Contrary to the word of Yah. They're going everywhere else to learn how to prosper in a relationship except the will of Yah. You go into a therapist that ain't married, a therapist that can't deliver you, a therapist that might be married, but don't keep the commandments. They're not giving you no truth. You reading these books by men that want to make money tickling your ears. Derek Jackson was one of them. He had all the daughters of Zion in his corner. Yeah, yeah. But guess what? He was tickling his ears. Come out and get exposed. Now you see it for what it is. A lot of men saw that head on. You don't need no other relationship book other than this. Other than the word of the Most High Yah. Why are we here today entering into that rest that Most High Yah has ordained? Faith and obedience. Exodus chapter 20, verses 8 through 11. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Man, when you start speaking of this, not just reading it, but obeying it, you're going to see some wicked spirits manifest. I don't think it means that. And everywhere where there's a discrepancy in understanding, I want you to understand there's possibly a spirit of disobedience behind it. If we start reading passages of scripture about the blessings that the Most High Yah gives to the just and the ones that obey him, you got people that are lawless and rebellious and disobedient. They don't have no problem interpreting that because it doesn't require an obedience for them to hear it and take the motivational message out of it. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. In it right here, men out here, this Western Roman Greco Gentile system, we've been programmed to do things that's contrary to the will of Yah. They got this system where you work 5 days, you do your little 40 hours, and you think that's enough. And it wasn't until coming into this truth that, I said, man, this ain't what the world is pushing. And this is a lot of the problem. This is why, as a man, you're not able to set yourself apart. Because let's look at this. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy Yah. Think about the difference that it would make as a man if you was righteously following this. Righteously following this. Them days, Saturdays, sitting around, eating chips, watching college football, ripping and running. This is my day off. Sunday come around, same thing. Think about where you could be righteously by just obeying this. The world don't teach us that. They don't teach this in the doggone Sunday sun worship Christendom. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy Yah. It wasn't until obeying this word that on Yom Day 1, Sunday, what the Christians call Resurrection Day or the Lord's Day. That's what they keep and violate this one. It wasn't until the Most High Yah renewed my mind to where I could get up on Sunday and say, this is my Monday right here. I'm grinding. And in just a little bit of time, I'm talking about just a year time frame, less than a year's time frame of fearing the Most High Yah and keeping the commandments. I've been able to accomplish more than what I've been able to, in less than 1 year than 33 years of living. That's how much productivity you're able to accomplish righteously. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. This is why you can't have, if you have lawless family, lawless friends, the commandment is if they are coming to dwell with you, when that word says there should be one law to, whom is homeborn and the stranger or the sojourner that dwells amongst you, you be cautious who you let, dwell in your house as a man. It's your responsibility to ensure that. You inviting lawless people to dwell with you and they don't want to keep the commandments, they will turn the structure of your house the opposite direction. You've been keeping the commandments, keeping the Shabbat, and all of a sudden somebody come in your house and say, you know what? Man, we want to go to Busch Garden and take your kids. We'll pay for it. What you think your kids gonna say? That's why before you let somebody dwell in your house, you have to lay down these rules, lady. And that's how we keep the commandments. So your doggone own seed and the people that are under your leadership don't turn against you for going after the world. Very important. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Today I want to ensure those that have ears to ear receive the word of Yah, place their feelings where they belong. Man, in order for me to be able to obey any of this, I had to take, let me show you this. I had to take my feelings right here, put them in the trash. Nothing about the way I lived, how I felt, did me any good. And it wasn't until the Most High Yah, allows you to be born again and you seek his face and you seek his wisdom to move in his spirit, to be filled with his ruach, and fear him, that you're going to gain any understanding. Your feelings come from the flesh and they are against the spirit. Galatians 5:17, for the desires of the flesh are against the spirit. Your flesh is not going to lead you to do anything righteous. And oftentimes, a man and a woman in a relationship, not seeking to be filled with the spirit, not seeking to walk in the spirit, you have arguments. Both sides is lawless. Ain't no truth in both sides of it. Where do you think the family's going to get with that? Then the desires of the spirit are against the flesh. For these are opposed to each other to keep you from doing things you want to do. What is a lead role and supporting role? When you think about a movie, sometimes there's one lead role, there's two lead role, but when it comes to the word of the Most High Yah in the family structure, you're gonna see that the head, that's a leading role. This is not what the world says. Marriage is a business and it's all of this. No, it ain't that. Most High Yah ain't never said that. Leading role, an important part, the most important role. Wherever you don't have a man fulfilling that leading role, family will suffer. The family will suffer. An important part, the most important role. Let me tell you something. You have families that have been broken down, by wicked men and wicked women, and this system will support the woman who is in a supporting role keeping the kids. These young daughters, young sons, the daughter's going to grow up masculine because they're not seeing the mother being that supporting role. These sons going to take on an effeminate spirit because they don't see the spirit righteously that they should be seeing in the house. And today I'm speaking to both sides of it. Supporting role, a fairly important role, but not a leading part. Okay. When we start talking about the teachings of mother and what the word says about the older women, you have an opportunity at that moment when the Most High Yah tells you you are to teach your daughters, you have a leading role in that moment. And the Most High Yah has given you that, but you have to be taught, okay, when the Most High Yah says many are called, but few are chosen. The Most High Yah chooses you. You got to understand in the physical, he might have you fulfilling a leading role, but don't get it twisted. You're supporting his will. Oftentimes what happens is a lot of people start off on the right track when it comes to, teaching the gospel. But what happens, they forget that they are in a supporting role to the will of Messiah and the Most High Yah, and they take off for the sake of money. I can make more money by doing this and teaching this prosperity ministry, getting away from the will of the Most High Yah. The main problems that cause the demise of the family is when people want the blessing that the Bible speaks of, but everyone gets ghost when it comes time to pay forth with obedience to the will of the Most High Yah. It is important that men and women seek the Most High Yah and to be filled with his Ruach that gives understanding. This begins with fear of the Most High Yah. Man, I don't know about you, but I can definitely speak on my behalf. I grew up around a good bit of religion. And as a young man dating, boyfriend and girlfriend, I remember the first time I came home was like, I got a girlfriend. Nobody set you down and said, hey, let me talk to you about, do you even know what you're supposed to offer a girl? What is this boyfriend, girlfriend stuff? This holding hands, smiling at each other. Two fools think they in love, got a feeling of love, but don't know what love is because they don't know Yah. Yah is love. This is what I said. I always ask that question when people come into my office and they having these problems and they want some mentorship, they want some guidance, they want some direction. Who taught you? You see what I'm saying? The Most High Yah deals in truth. Deals in truth, not advice. Some people take it as advice, and this is the reason that they're getting spiritually attacked, because you do have a choice to choose the world or to choose Yah. And if you choose Yah, ain't none of this advice. It's all truth. A lot of men and women out here don't even realize that they are struggling. Men out here, you a man out here that wants a Proverbs 31, but you not filled with the spirit of truth. And that spirit of truth will help you shoot an azimuth so you can focus on the direction that you need to be leading this woman and the family. That's why you suffer. Same thing. Sisters out here, you think, I love this man. But let's see how much you love him when he's doing what the Most High Yah has told him to do, and you're supposed to be in a supporting role. You cannot do that being void of the spirit of truth. You're going to fight back. It's going to be contention. That's what the Most High Yah says. Your enemy will be that of your own household. He didn't come to bring peace. He came to bring a sword. It's going to show where the divide is. That's why I told you today is going to be like a rap battle. I'm on the side of righteousness. Chances are you might be cheering for the other side, which is Hasatan. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. How many times we going to see this boyfriend, girlfriend, or we just dating, we just kicking it? Everybody know y'all clapping them cheeks. Ain't nobody getting nowhere. How many times we going to see this culture promote fornication? Oh, that's your girlfriend. Oh, that's your boyfriend. Ain't nobody coming in with truth. Then a baby come forth. And ain't nobody got nothing to offer nobody because they don't know their role. Men and women, you don't know how to lead yourself out of a bowl of jello, but yet you got a girlfriend. What are you going to offer her? Either you're a fool that despises wisdom, or you receiving this word of the Most High Yah. There ain't no gray area. Well, I'm just kind of chilling. I don't know about all. No, that's not the way that works. John chapter 14, verse 17. Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive because it neither sees him nor knows him. Don't get it twisted. They're gonna act like they know him. But that's not faith if you out here worshiping Baal. You out here worshiping Hasatan and graven images. The world will fool you like they got the spirit of truth. And this is why everything that they push is going to be contrary to the word of Yah. How many signs around do we see in this courthouse that will give you this lawless contract that two men can go get, two women can go get, and the thing say, in God we trust? They're not telling you that it's in Baal worship they trust, in satanic worship they trust. How are we supposed to value a piece of paper in marriage when two doggone sissies in a phone booth can go get it? When two carpet munchers can go get it? And you supposed to hold this paperwork in honor. Come on. The spirit of truth whom the world cannot receive because it neither sees him nor knows him. This world don't know him. You know him, for he dwells with you and will be in you. Shep hit on very some. You look at the rate of divorce. Rate of divorce today. You know, half of the marriages end in divorce. 70% of them divorces filed by women. 90% if they're college educated. But better yet, Shep hit on something. I ain't never thought about it. I said, let me look that up. He said, look at the divorce rate amongst the lesbians. This is women that say women can do it better. They divorce rate high as crack too, over 70%. Some of them studies as high as 78%. Happens you get two doggone women together that love carpet munching, both think they supposed to be in a leading role. That's so contrary to the will of Yah, and that's why it failed. That's why it fails. 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of Yah, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not burdensome. Here is the doggone litmus test right here. The word says they honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Get into them commandments and see the spirit that comes out of people's mouth. The Most High Yah, the only currency he accepts is obedience and faithfulness. Faithfulness with obedience. Faith without works is dead. That works is your obedience. Man and woman together talking about the commandment. Chances are you're going to have somebody, well, I don't agree with that. I don't think we got to do with that. Where'd that come from? Anything that don't have nothing to do with obedience, you understand, comprehend, you don't have no rebuttal, no nothing. But when it comes to keeping these commandments, then that spirit of rebellion start to come in, of rejecting the will of the Most High Yah. It says, for this is the love of Yah. So if you say you love him, it's not about your words and this warm feeling that R. Kelly made you feel, that Jacquees made you feel, that Mariah Carey singing these Christmas songs made you feel. No, that ain't love. Yah tells you if you love him, you're going to keep his commandments. How many people fight you on keeping the commandments? It says, and his commandments are not burdensome. I don't know why we got to do all that. That seems a bit excessive. All right, dang. Excessive to you when you really don't love him. But to be set apart, you're going to have to do something to set yourself apart as a man or as a woman. And I ain't talking about transforming either. Don't set yourself apart wickedly like that. Galatians chapter 5, verse 16 through 17. When men and women in relationship are not filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of truth, the spirit that gives understanding, and are walking in it, how can the family be going anywhere prosperous? I don't care if you're going to church, you're doing this, you're doing all the Bible. If you ain't filled with the spirit of truth, how can the family get somewhere? As a man, how can you be leading your family the best of your ability when the Most High Yah gave you the doggone instruction manual how to do it, but you like, I'm gonna skip that step. It's like trying to put together something that's complicated to you because you don't have the spirit of understanding, and you trying to put two doggone bolts together, and a nut and a bolt go together with a washer in between. The book tell you that, but you sitting up here with two nuts trying to put them together, and it ain't gonna work. This I say, then walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So the only way that you're not going to fulfill the lust of the flesh is to be walking in the spirit. And that's what you have to be. That's what you need to be striving in. Anytime you walking in the spirit, that's a spirit of perfection. That spirit is not going to lead you to doggone do something sinful. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary to one another, so that you cannot do the things that you would do. Some people will say, oh, you think you perfect, especially when you're trying to establish order and righteousness, especially in the family. Oh, you think you perfect. No, but the spirit of truth is perfect, and it's not going to lead me nowhere sinful. It's not going to lead me nowhere wicked. Chances are, if you think you got the spirit and it's leading you and that disobedience is shown, chances are you are not moving in the spirit of truth, or you filled with another spirit. If you were to poll the daughters of Zion, the sisters, with a simple question of who wants a husband, majority of hands will be raised. Test my boast on this. But how many daughters of Zion want to fulfill the duty of a wife? Fulfilling that duty means a man ruling over you and fulfilling your supporting role. Let me use this as an example. Kim Kardashian has a bodyguard. And in order for this bodyguard to successfully do his job, he has to give some orders, some instructions, and some guidance. And if she wants to survive, wants to live, it would behoove her to doggone follow those orders and those instructions. Get down. Don't go there. We're going to go this way. That way we can have, we not run into violence. But think about it, this is a paid service. You got that same thing in a man. But the only currency he accepts is the love that comes out of your mouth is obedience. Because if not, you go the other way, you're going to find trouble. It's been that way since the beginning. A bodyguard gives instruction and order because they are experienced in dangerous situations. Think about that. She wouldn't have hired a bodyguard if she was experienced in dangerous and violent situations. And it behooves you to obey the instructions if you want to live. You can survive, but you're going to find yourself in a lot of dangerous situations. And them dangerous situations is sin. You pay your husband with obedience and submission. That's the only form of currency Yah accepts. Anytime you look at the Most High Yah referencing a man, referencing a woman, is always obedience. And then he gives you order. Lead roles, supporting roles. Hebrews 13:17. Obey your leaders. Here we talk about that bodyguard. Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your souls as those who have to give an account. That man, that lead role, you got to give an account. Anything that goes on in your watch, foolish, wicked it is, you got to give an account. Man say, don't wear that. Think about that. He's keeping watch over your soul. Well, this is a new style. This is a new trend to go out here with your butt cheeks out. Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your soul. Go out there with your butt cheeks, coming home, somebody tried to molest me. Think about that. Gave you some instructions, gave you some guidance, but contentious, fighting. You don't know style, you don't know fashion. Men out here, how many of you are watching the battlefield, watching what goes on to be able to give the guidance and leadership? Just because you're a man and got two nuts don't make you a leader. Where you getting your wisdom to lead from? Who have you followed that was an example of righteousness that can show you the way? Or you just pull up your pants, cover up them nuts, and then just start giving guidance, but You might be leading your doggone woman the other direction. We going out tonight. We going out tonight. Let your butt cheeks hang out. Don't wear that. That's too covered up. You the one ultimately that might be bringing in a lot of these tribulations because of your lack of leadership. This is why, men, it's very important that you study to show thyself approved. Because if not, I guarantee you, if a woman know you don't know something, she's going to always be trying to teach you something. It's going to be ass backwards. You can't know enough. Learn, get around some men, cut from a righteous cloth, and keep learning. Let them pour into you. Because chances are you might have not gotten that growing up. And then just if you've gotten it growing up, continue to build, continue to study that word and learn how you should be navigating the family. That way you can discern the times that we in. It says, let them do this with joy and not with groaning. You got a lot of men groaning, trying to lead a family. Some of them ain't groaning or doing this with joy because they ain't trying to lead. A lot of men out here is fine with being stay-at-home wives. You making biscuit and your woman out there cutting the grass, doing all the stuff that you supposed to have a spirit doing. And you wonder why she talked to you crazy. You in a supporting role. You supposed to be leading. It says, let them do this with joy and not with groaning. For that will be of no advantage to you. You got somebody watching your soul, giving you guidance, making sure you don't fall off the ledge. Hasatan don't get you. You're making it hard for them. When it comes to the flesh and us thinking we have understanding, this always fails because men and women are void of the truth, but read the scriptures only to lean on their own understanding. A lot of folks sitting around reading the Bible don't have the spirit of truth. Here's the fruit, the evidence that they don't have the spirit of truth. They still living a lie. Still living a lie. Don't let these folk fool you out here with these religious spirits. You look the part, you got on a good suit, some nice shoes, still living a lie. You know, got your doggone, your makeup on, your hair done, your pumps on, can recite a couple scriptures, but guess what? Living a lie, void of the spirit of truth. That's going to tear the family apart. What has also happened in today's family is men and women in relationships strive to prosper, but are only willing to submit to the lawless ways of the world. Think about this, man. As a man, I'm going to start with the man. Say, for instance, you're lucky and fortunate enough, blessed, you being unjust as a man, to have a godly woman that doesn't mouth off to you, who tries to sanctify you, win you over with her conduct, righteous behavior, and you're not giving her the leadership that you're supposed to be giving her. That's going to be a struggle for that daughter of Zion. Likewise, you don't even realize how blessed you are because your reward, according to the word, is supposed to be a wicked woman. Many daughters of Zion out here are blessed with a man that's trying to wash them with the word. That way you can be presented as pure without a spot or with a blemish. But yet you think you clean. You want to be in a lead role, not a supporting role. You want to be contentious, quarrelsome. Man give you guidance rather than just letting that love be manifested in obedience and obey it and submit to it. You know what? Now it's a 2-3 hour argument. 2-3 hour argument. Ain't nobody getting no sleep because the spirit of rebellion has reared its ugly head. But yet you swear up and down you love them. Romans chapter 12, verse 2, and be not conformed to this world. This world has a dysfunctional way of trying to portray the family. When they do that, they're going to try to normalize things that are contrary to the word of Yah. When you look at a lot of these Medea movies, man, that's dysfunction. That's dysfunction. And how it's glossed over to you is by way of comedy. It's lawlessness. And you sit up laughing. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and the perfect will of Yah. So you ain't going to be able to know what the will of Yah is until your mind been transformed. How many people go into these prosperity ministries without their mind being transformed? You want the family to prosper, and you think about prospering as a big house, a new car, money in the bank. You're not thinking about prospering as far as that spirit of depression and anxiety leaving your kids, that spirit of rebellion leaving them, prospering and y'all keeping the commandments, being a set apart family. Well, we don't think about that. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. If you stay in that, which you should be striving to do, you be A-okay. And do not lean on your own understanding. How many folk we see read this word while loving to live a lie? You reading the word, but yet you doing ball worship. You love everything the Most High Yah told you not to do. People getting ready to follow the way of the heathen, but yet they reading the word. What good will that profit you? You're void of the spirit of truth. Doing a good job looking religious. In all your ways, acknowledge him. All your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. You get to a decision point. Rather than leaning on your own understanding, let me acknowledge him. Let me go to the word. You know, so as a mother, as a wife, let me see what this word tells me I should do in this situation. Chances are, if I lean on my own understanding, I'm gonna go with the consensus of the world, not realizing that I'm teaching my daughter to be lawless. As a man out here, seeking the Most High Yah, going to the word, what example are you supposed to be setting? These decision points that you've leaned on your own understanding rather than trusting in the Most High Yah, what example did you set for your sons? Man, it's a doggone shame. It's a doggone shame that these kids is listening to these foolishness and experiencing this foolishness. You know, you think about this. You got the average 7 or 8-year-old boy who can play Call of Duty on prestige mode. You know, been in school for some years, but don't know how to work a tape measure. Learned all these fractions in school, but don't know how to work a doggone tape measure. You know, daughters of Zion, young daughters of Zion, 7, 8 years old. You know every lyric to Cardi B WAP, Megan Thee Stallion WAP. You know how to paint your face like Jezebel did, but don't know the first thing about navigating a pot in a pan or sewing, something that can help your doggone home. Isaiah 55, verse 8 through 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts. It's very critical when people try to play fast and loose with the text and warp the word and they're leaning on their own understanding. That's what happens. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. Your ways before coming into the knowledge of the truth as a man or a woman, especially in the union of a relationship or a covenant marriage, man, they was of the flesh, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than yours. How many people that is reading these scriptures void of the truth, they can recite this stuff, but which way do they go? They go with their way, leaning on their own understanding, and it don't produce no fruit. Another problem that causes the family to suffer is either the man, the woman, or both are under a strong delusion because they are comfortable living a lie, not being worth a dang as a man or a woman, but telling yourself you worthy of the reward of the book. You know, every parent out there has told they doggone child at some point, don't lie, tell the truth. Don't lie, tell the truth. Think about that. Let's just let that marinate. Don't lie to me, son. Don't lie to me, daughter. I'm your mother and father. A lot of people even double down, being double-minded, and say, I would never lie to you. Where that dollar come from when I lost my tooth? I lost my tooth, and anytime my teeth fall out, I'm equating that with money now. Where'd that come from? Nobody held a gun to mothers and fathers' head and say, if you don't get in there and put that dollar under the pillow, like, no, we taught them this. We taught them to lie. You think about the birthday of Nimrod that's getting ready to be celebrated, laying out cookies, milk, some doggone man from the Caucasus Mountain about to come down a chimney that you don't have. You live in the third floor of an apartment. But for you, the narrative is he gonna come over the balcony, gonna come up the elevator, and ain't nobody gonna see him. Under a strong delusion. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7 through 12. For the mystery of lawlessness already worked. It's already at work. It's already working. And if you don't know about this, chances are you probably helping the mission of lawlessness. Only who now restrains, it will do so until he is out of the way. And then the lawless one will be revealed. You're going to have some people that rather get their ears tickled because lawlessness is being revealed, whom the Lord Yahshua will kill with the breath of his mouth and bring nothing by the appearance of his coming. The coming of the lawless one is by the activity of Satan, Hasatan, with all power, false signs, and wonders. Okay? And with all wicked deception for those who are perishing because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. You ain't saved without loving the truth. See how them two go together? You're not saved without loving the truth, because the truth is what sets you free from eternal damnation. Therefore, Yah sends them a strong delusion so that they may believe what is a lie or false, in order that they all may be condemned who did not believe the truth but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Man, when you are in the union of a family, you got to get people around you in your circle that love the Most High Yah and keep his commandments. Everybody around you gonna say that they love Yah, but which God they love? Which one do they love? Chances are, as a man, if you fear the Most High Yah and keep the commandments and you're trying to lead your family somewhere righteously, you don't need to have lawless men in your circle. And if you do have some lawless men in your circle, it should be for only the purpose of ensuring that they get the word. That's it. Being an example for them because you know they don't have one. They done found every facet of trouble or lawlessness that this world offers, and you know that it might be the only chance that they get the word and to see an example. The word itself is not too much with an example being set forth, and you think about the Most High Yah having the word from the beginning, but you look at the foolishness that was going on. People was in sin and transgression saying, I'll go kill another animal and just take that. And they was just keeping on doing it. And then here comes Messiah, Yahshua HaMashiach, on the scene, giving us example, making that word manifest in the flesh. A lot of people want to give the word, but they don't want to give the example with obedience. And that's the only currency that the Most High Yah accepts, and that's through faith. Ecclesiasticus 26 through 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. That's your reward. You don't want to obey Yah as a man. You don't fear him. You read this stuff and you like, no, I ain't got to do that, man. I got it already. Go ahead. Don't be surprised when you're dealing with a wicked woman. That's your reward. It says, but the godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. That's your reward. The main problem we have in our society with statistics that prove that it's men and women fighting for the lead role over the family. The Most High Yah gave it to the man, the lead role. Didn't give the man a supporting role. When this happened, it is catastrophic and out of order to the will of Yah. Who did the Most High Yah create first and address as leadership over the woman? We in there today. I told you this like a rap battle between the wicked and the righteous. And I'm sending punchlines. You know, I saw this video of this woman who was a mother without a covering pretty much say that she raised some successful men. And I was contrary to that because when you look at the substance of them being successful, it wasn't fearing Yah and keeping the commandments. It was they made a whole bunch of money. And that ain't going to get you into the kingdom. Genesis chapter 2, verse 15 through 25. And the Lord Yah took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to keep it. Why we got these lazy men? If you reading this stuff from the beginning, he put you here to work. You gonna work. Ain't no way around it. Got these men out here teaching damnable doctrines and heresies, talking about they keep the Sabbath every day. If a man don't work, he don't eat. The instruction says you shall work 6 days and rest on the seventh. Why are you eating? Guarantee you got a good belly. And the Lord Yah commanded the man, saying, you may surely eat of the tree of the garden, but of the tree of knowledge and good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat, you shall surely die. It's going to be the death of you. Then the Lord Yah said, it is not good for the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him. It didn't say I will make a leader for him. Helper. This is the thing. If you, as a daughter of Zion, do not want a man to rule over you, to lead you, you don't deserve a man. Bottom line, point blank, period. I know that stings for a lot of people, but don't care. You've been getting your ears tickled this whole time. If you don't want a man to rule over you righteously, I'm talking about a righteous rule, a rule that will help save your soul. Make sure you don't veer left, veer right, and keep on that straight and narrow path. If you don't want that, you do not deserve a man. Now out of the ground the Lord Yah had formed every beast of the field and every bird of heavens and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. Think about that. Naming convention. Naming convention. Logically naming. Not about what sounds cute, what sounds good. You got young daughters of Zion walking around with names like Mercedianas. You know, all kind of foolishness. And whatever the man called every living creature, that is what its name. The man gave names to all the livestock and to the birds of heaven and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found a suitable helper fit for him. So the Lord Yah caused the deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, took one of his ribs and closed it up in place with the flesh. And the rib that the Lord Yah had taken from the man, he made into the woman and brought her to the man. Then the man said, this is the man. This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman. Most High Yah doing the creation, but gave him the lead role in naming her in the naming conventions of the rest. Here it is. Because she was taken out of man. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. They ain't done nothing wrong at this point. But you got to think, men out here, how many of us left home, for the purpose of cleaving unto our wives? Or what was we going out here to experience the lawlessness of the world and try to chase booty? That's what happens. You know why? Nobody's teaching you the right things according to the word. Son, when you leave home, it's only at the purpose that you're leaving to go be with your wife. But what does the world say? You 18, you got to get out now. Go experience the world. Bullshit. How many people left home at 18 only to go out and experience the lawless world? I can guarantee you, based upon this word, I don't care if you're 30 years old. You stay home and let your mother or your doggone father pour into you until this time comes, until you've been chosen as a daughter of Zion. And I can guarantee you, your body count won't be that high. Same thing. Stay home, let your father pour into you, and you won't have defiled and taken the virtue, the pureness out of these daughters of Zion. Don't nobody want to do that. Don't nobody want to say that. Go to college, whore yourself out. Take part in Freaknik. What goes on campus, we don't talk about. All kind of foolishness. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16 through 19. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply their sorrow and thy conception. So this is after the disobedience. This is after the transgressions of Eve. Every time a woman gives birth, that's what I'm saying. You are reminded when you are on that table, you are reminded of the transgressions of Eve. I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. And thy desire shall be to thy husband. Daughters of Zion, I ask you, when you think you're doing something righteous, trying to put your desire on the man, where does the word say that? It says, and thy desire shall be to thy husband. What about all this, these my goals, my dreams? When you was presented an opportunity for marriage, your dreams went in the damn trash can. Point blank, period. It's up to that man to build his house the way he wants to in the family structure. But what about me? That's the flesh speaking, wanting to be selfish, thinking that you're in a lead role and the man's supposed to be in a supporting role. A part of the man's leading role is to support the family. And he shall rule over thee. That manifests demons right there. This is often the stuff that they skip over. That's what I said. If you don't want a man to rule over you and for your desire to be to your husband, you don't need a man. You need to get mad at Eve. Matter of fact, you mad at the Most High Yah. Can't help you. Ain't none of this, well, if he do this, then I do that. No, nope, that's not the contract you signed. That's not the deal you signed. Go back out there and see if you get another opportunity. You want to play those games. And unto Adam he said, because thou have hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, you listen to your wife. And it wasn't nothing but foolishness coming out. She convinced you to do what I told you not to do. Shep taught about spiritual warfare and the spirit of Jezebel and Ahab today. You became an Ahab and has eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it the days of thy life. Thorns and thistles shall bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. and in sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. How many men we had today that try to avoid that? Stay up in the air condition. You up in the house baking biscuits, got your woman out there doing everything you supposed to be doing because you trying to avoid this. You're not fit to lead. Not fit to lead. And until you start obeying this and realizing the significance of this, you're going to always find a struggle. Till thou return unto the ground, for out of it thou was taken. For dust thou art, and until dust thou shalt return. Men out here, if you got sons and daughters, you shouldn't be trying to avoid laborious work. We live in a world that push all these inactive and soft, effeminate men, and they're pushing this. You got to be mindful. They're pushing this convenience so much now, where you got men out here that don't even know how to unclog a toilet. Men out here that don't know how to check the air pressure in a tire. You sitting in the car with your woman, or your woman tell you her doggone tire is low air pressure. You talking about what you want me to do? You hop in the passenger seat, she driving, you say go to the tire place. You wonder why she getting juicy for the tire boy that's putting the dog, because you don't know nothing and ain't trying to learn nothing. You've been watered down to an ATM machine instead of the lead role you're supposed to be fulfilling. Here's another example of the Most High Yah giving man a leading role in order to save his family. You will see that the wife who is in a supporting role did not follow the instructions of her leadership, and it cost her her life. Genesis chapter 19, verse 15. As morning dawned and the angels urged Lot, who did they address? Leadership. Take your wife and your two daughters who are here, lest you be swept away in the punishment of the city. Orders come from authority given to leadership. Notice in the next verse the position of the wife in relation to the husband. Genesis chapter 19, verse 23 through 26. It's not that she didn't have an example. The sun had risen on earth when Lot came to Zoar. Then the Lord rained on Sodom and Gomorrah sulfur and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the valley and all the inhabitants of the cities and what grew on the ground. But Lot's wife, behind him, she was in the right place. He was leading. He was giving the instruction. He was shooting the azimuth. We getting up out of Sodom and Gomorrah. But she looked back and she became a pillar of salt. A has-been. Forgotten about. Why? It's not that she didn't have good leadership. Lot made it out because of rebellion. Wanting to do her own thing. Didn't the word say your desire shall be to your husband? What was her desire when she looked back instead of obeying the will of her husband? Lost her life for it. The Most High Yah in this next verse establishes role throughout the family. This is something that women today hate to acknowledge, but it would do them some good if they submit to Yah's will. You cannot say you love Yah and be against his will. 1 Corinthians 11:3, but I will have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach. That's your head. That's who you're supposed to be following. That is your example. And he did a perfect job in giving you that because he knew no sin. Knew no sin whatsoever. But you following Kobe Bryant, you following LeBron James, you following this person, you following, just people that don't fear Yah and keep the commandments as a man, and they ain't gonna get you nowhere. It won't profit you nothing in the end. And the head of woman is the man. You want to hear a rebellious spirit? Listen to a daughter of Zion that says that they love Yah. Explain this and let them tell you what it means. And you're going to get something contrary to the word. And the head of Hamashiach is Yah. Everybody got an example. Lead role. Most High Yah, Messiah, Yahshua HaMashiach, lead role given to us in the physical, in the flesh, as an example. You can't say you don't have, an example to follow as a man. Another verse many daughters of Zion reject is the fact that the woman was created for the glory of man. This is all the supporting stuff right here that will help you feel a supporting role so you can be considered righteous, so you can be considered a wise woman that builds her house. 1 Corinthians 11:7-12. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for so as much he is the image and glory of Yah, but the woman is the glory of man. When you look at the creation in Bereshith and Genesis, you got lead and supporting roles. But the destruction of the family is when you got both people trying to lead, and that's not by way of divine order and the will of Yah. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. Neither is the man created for the woman, but the woman created for the man. That's because the Most High Yah said not a suitable helper was found for him. You done all this naming convention. You done named all the cattle, the birds, all of this stuff in the water, but you don't have no suitable helper. For this cause ought the woman have a power on her head because of the angels, the messengers. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. All you independent daughters of Zion that want to do it independently, that ain't in the Lord. In order for, generations to prosper, you got to do this. You got to do this. And if you on the side of what the world tells you that you don't need this, there ain't no prosperity in that. You're going to have some monetary success. You're going to have some things that you will be unrighteously prideful in, but the family won't struggle. You're going to produce a bunch of lazy, effeminate men that don't know how to lead, that's passive and not assertive. Same thing, the daughter's going to take on a lead role and be more masculine and not be able to fulfill the supporting role. They're going to know everything about fashion, doggone makeup, hair, all of that, but they're not going to know how to support the family. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman. That's through birth, but all things of Yah. What was the Most High Yah's guidance to the younger women? And here's the thing. This is a good litmus check. Good litmus check. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 14-15. I will therefore that the younger women marry. The fact is, a lot of these daughters of Zion are being brought to places of religious worship, but you ain't got nobody nobody filled with the spirit up in there. Parents ain't filled with the spirit, not teaching this stuff at home as we should. Younger women will marry. That's first priority right there. Younger women will marry. He didn't tell you to go make a bag, to go do this and whore yourself out. What you don't realize is a lot of daughters of Zion catch some bodies in these places going to get that paperwork. Bear children. Most of y'all didn't tell you to put your career first. Keep playing that game, see where it finds you. Standing on that, standing on business. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give no occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. If you're doing something contrary to that, leaning on your own understanding, fleshly understanding, adversary gonna have a field day with you. You're gonna have so much trial and tribulation in your life, you ain't even gonna be able to fathom it. And you're gonna wonder, man, how did I get myself into this? How many mothers out here is teaching this? But yet, you've been ordained and had all this oil poured on you, but ain't a word of truth came out of your mouth. Verse 15, it says, for some already turned aside after Satan. So this was the guidance to younger women. And then in verse 15, he says, for some are already turned aside after Satan. The word of the Most High Yah gives us a righteous way to live in structure as men and women with headship and authority. A man has headship and authority over him by Messiah. You give out some bad leadership guidance and put a stumbling block before your wife, before your doggone family, you got to deal with that judgment. Most High Yah will chastise you for that. Just because you got a man that says he's a leader, how you know he's not trying to lead you towards Hasatan versus righteousness? Mike can't lead himself out of a bowl of jello, but you said yes to him. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22 through 28. Wives, submit to your own husband as to the Lord. That word submit is like a modern day curse word. Don't care, standing on business. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church. Brothers out here, how many of y'all have had a righteous man pour into you to teach you how to be a head? You just not being a head and going with the flow. If you going with the flow, chances are you're conforming to the world. Even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, or the ecclesia, his body, and himself its savior. Now the church submits to Hamashiach, so wives should submit in everything to their husband. It don't say in what you want. It does not say in what you want. You got to communicate with leadership. In a lead role, the man communicate with Messiah. When you're in a lead role, you can't show the left hand what the other hand is doing, because you'd be surprised. You might have nosy monitoring spirits that come against you to try to stop it. So yes, you should be in communication about all things. Daughters of Zion, also wives should submit in everything to their husbands. What about them areas that you try to play the part like you submit, but certain areas you like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm not bringing that before the one that has rule over my soul. And then you wonder why it fumbles, because you didn't bring it before leadership to get the guidance and the wisdom and the instruction. Husband, love your wives as Hamashiach loved the church. Men out here, how do you truly love your wife if you don't even know the love of the Most High Yah? How merciful he is. How can you consider yourself leading a woman? And you think just because you got swag, good looks, got some curly hair, you playing in with your feminine self, that's leadership. You holding her hand and y'all walking to get some food. Where are you leading her to? You could be leading her in the danger, in the violence, because you on demon time. And gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her. Man, in leadership, fulfilling a lead role, you got to have the hard conversations that chances are, if you are constantly fought with contention and rebellion, you might put up a wall and not want to speak in truth. You start tickling ears. But that ain't sanctification. You're going to have to say the truth. What is the truth? And not try to spare the feelings. Because if you try to spare the feelings, you're going to end up tickling ears. It's where a lot of men are. Having cleansed her by the washing of water by the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. How many of y'all willing to do that for your doggone woman? You can't be passive and do that. That's something if you have not had a righteous example, you're gonna struggle with. I struggled with that. Just saying, man, I'm gonna just let that go. It ain't even worth it. I don't even want to deal with it. Nope, that's passivity. That's passivity. Rather than addressing it head on. Forget the outcome. You know who you serve. This thing go to shit, you know who you serve. Stand on business. You can't be a follower of Messiah. Like Luke says, if you don't hate your mother, your father, your wife, your brother, your sister, your kids, even your own life, you can't call yourself my disciple. Stand on business. You want to be in a lead role. Don't allow yourself to get leveraged due to anger and hissy fits. Heck no. Stand on business. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. If you don't love your own body as a man, chances are you promoting the defilement of the temple in your woman. You're promoting all this stuff. If you're without wisdom, you're going to end up promoting all of this because you're defiling yourself. Where the world supports that. Chances are, if you avoided the truth, don't have an example in the flesh, by way of your parents, your father, which it was his job to do, you're going to support that. He who loves his wife loves himself. That's why the word tells you, do not be harsh with her. You're going to be harsh with yourself? You can be critical, but don't be harsh. You will realize that the Most High Yah continuously gives instructions to the head of the family, being the man, as the overseer, to ensure structure and obedience is established. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1 through 9. Now this is the commandment, the statutes and the rules that the Lord Yah commanded me to teach you, that you may do them in the land which you are going over to possess it, that you may fear the Lord your Yah, you and your son's son, by keeping all his statutes and his commandments. How many of us grew up with that? How many of us grew up with that? Which I commanded you all the days of your life, and that all the days may be long. Hear therefore, O Israel, and be careful to do them, that it may go well with you, and that you may multiply greatly. The Lord, the Yah of your fathers, has promised you in the land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our Yah, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your Yah with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might, all your strength. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. How many men put emphasis on spending all they might trying to lift up weights that ain't really going to profit them in the end? When this thing says all your might, that's the same way, if not more, you should be seeking out the will of the Most High Yah. And all these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. He writes them. In Jeremiah 31, verse 31 through 34, he writes them on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children. They don't want to listen? Shut up, sit down and listen. You ain't learning nothing on Call of Duty. You ain't learning nothing playing with these doggone fake little dolls. You ain't learning nothing. Sit down and listen. Might save your soul in the end. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. Anybody know of anything out there that already makes those? If you know of a website or something out there that makes those, and you can just order it and then you can post it, let me know. Please let me know. If not, I'll look into it myself and designing one. That way, when people, enter into your property, they know, hey, this game time. If you at demon time, that will steer them clear. You know what? I'm skipping this house. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 33. However, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. Now, if you somebody that loves living a lie, you will try to say you struggle to understand that because you're trying to justify lawlessness and wickedness. Men out here, if you're doing things that damn you and you're promoting it to your wife, you don't love her. You wouldn't lead her like that. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. Likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives. He ain't this, he ain't shit, he don't do this, he don't do that. You said yes. You had a baby bond. Now where we going with it? You said yes. You said yes to this plum fool. And the word is giving you instruction on how to get up out of that situation. Be subject to your own husband. Still got to listen to him. He might not be worth a dang. You said yes to him. He's still in the lead role. So even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of your wife. That's for the sole purpose of, you can mouth off to him all day long. That ain't going to change him. He know he's not programmed to listen to you. But the conduct, you keep on doing what you're supposed to do. Keep on guarding the house, submitting, And one day when that hit him, how blessed he has been and how he's not worthy, or you ain't gonna have no problem with him following in righteousness. He knows his portion was supposed to be a wicked woman, but you help sanctify him. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of the hair. When people read this, they read this and say, no, that can't be the way. But you got to look into the culture of our people. Look at the culture. You got to get into the other readings that explain the culture of Israel. But when they were getting into Egypt, this is when, all of this diva and all of this stuff started being pushed on the daughters of Zion. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of the hair and putting on of gold jewelry. Why? You start focusing on these trinkets and hairdo instead of righteousness. Where you get your hair done? Girl, where'd you get this at? Instead of teaching righteously, talking about nothing that won't profit nobody's soul, or the clothing you wear. Got a closet full of clothes. You the only one in the house, can't find nothing to wear. But let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart. Oftentimes when you see that hidden person that's really in there, jokes start crawling up the wall. Oh, gotta get away. Let me get on this rooftop. Which is the imperishable beauty, inner person of the heart. That's the beauty. Not sitting in front of that vanity, drawing these wings on your eyelids and all this crap. No, that ain't it. Imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in Yah's sight is very precious. You might think you cute. Y'all don't think the same way. Not if you ain't doing this. For this is how the holy one, he give you an example. I'm not just making this up. For this is how the holy women who hoped in Yah used to adorn themselves by submitting to their own husband. The world would tell you, you a fool. You a slave for doing that. You let him tell you what to do? Do. Saved by childbirth if I continue in holiness. I don't know how you can just stay in the house and take care of the house and God is. What Bible you reading, girl? And instead of entertaining these demonic spirits, how come you daughters of Zion don't rebuke it if you live in it? Girl, they hiring out here where I am. No, I'm cool. I'm gonna continue staying at home, doing what the book tell me to be. I'm gonna continue, to sow the seed in these fields like Proverbs 31 was doing. I'm gonna continue sowing. Oh, that seemed too simple. You don't want to come over here and party with us. And girl, when we get our work on Fridays, it's our custom to go turn up. Where's the rebuke at if you know the truth? No, I'm doing a good work at home. I know what this system is teaching these kids. I'm teaching them. Matter of fact, we're gonna do real fractions. And when their daddy get home, them fractions that I showed on paper, he gonna show them on the tape measure. Come on. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Let marriage, oh man, boy. Every time you turn on the radio, you ain't hearing nothing about let marriage be held in honor among all. Sneaker link this. Side piece this. Side dude this. Pound town. Come pound me out and rack up all these bodies on me. So I'm entertaining all these spirits. It says, and let the marriage bed be undefiled. Let the marriage bed be undefiled. For Yah will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. Colossians 3:9. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. Man, let me tell you something. If you think you love your wife as a man and you lie to her to spare her feelings, you don't love her. I'm going to say that one more time. If you are a man and you think you love your wife and you lie to her to spare her feelings, you don't love her. You gave her no truth. How you expect her to be set free? Didn't say she was going to like it or receive it, but how do you expect her to be set free if you're lying to her to spare her feelings? You might not be qualified for a lead role. This is stuff Chances are, if our fathers was worldly men, they didn't teach us. Man, she gonna be angry. She gonna be pissed off. Fuck it. Let it happen. Let it happen. But eventually, keep on going down that path of wanting to rebel against truth. You're gonna wind out that somebody gave you the truth and you didn't want nothing to do with it. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1. The wisest of woman builds her house. Think about that. But the folly of her own hands tears it down. You lean on your own understanding as a woman outside of the guidance and instruction of your covering, you're going to tear your house down. You're going to tear them kids down too. They're going to be a 180 of what they should be. This ain't talking about the physical building. This is talking about the structure and prudency, the prospering of the home. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 through 15. Here's another one, boy. Cancel culture. He's a misogynist. He's a chauvinist, male chauvinist. You shooting the messenger. I don't see you tearing this page out your doggone book. You just glossing over it because you know good and well you don't want to do it. Let a woman learn quietly with all submissiveness. But I want to teach him something. Nope, not your job. You didn't sign up for that. Did not sign up for that. You want to, hey, you want to do that? Go be a college professor or something. In the home, nope. Let a woman learn quietly with all submissiveness. I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man, whether she is to remain quiet. She will have done a good thing. I wonder what Eve was trying to teach Adam. Nah, shut up, Adam. You don't know nothing. Man, I was talking to the snake. Snake said we good. We can eat it. You a bitch or something? You ain't no real man. Look, come on. Start playing them games, playing on his manhood. What Adam do? Oh man, I'm gonna eat it, man. Ain't no punk. I'm gonna eat it. Damned. Just like that. For Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived and became the transgressor. Yet she will be saved through childbearing if they continue in faith and love and holiness with self-control. That's salvation right there for a daughter of Zion. If they continue in childbearing, in faith and love and holiness with self-control. I don't want no more kids. Not up to you. Guarantee you want some more sex. That body can produce, and the man want to keep planting seed. Block off that field if you want to. Mess around, and that man ain't gonna ask you for no permission. But yet you'll say he's controlling. He's a cheater. He's an adultery. Would you say that same thing about Abraham? Abraham was in a lead role. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. What kind of favor? Well, if you got a doggone wife, guess what you're not out there doing? Fornicating. You're in covenant. Y'all are there to give each other conjugal rights. There's your favor right there. Now you have increased responsibility. So you have every reason to be focused on going somewhere righteous rather than just being flapping out the wind when you was fornicating. What you ask a lot of these men, what are you doing? Where are you going? It's just, I'm just chilling, man. Just chilling, trying to sneak up on a little something, trying to pull something. Ain't going nowhere. Now you got somebody that you found. It was your job to discern and find a wife. Now you got somebody. Now you got the increased responsibility. Now you're in a leading role. And thus you have obtained favor from the Lord. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 6. As Sarah obeyed Abraham. This Abraham had more. Let me tell you something. I can guarantee you put Abraham on the scene today, heck no. They're going to say he's let's see what the word is. They're going to say he's misogynist, a male chauvinist, abusive, controlling. They're going to launch every accusation. Man, they would try to take all Abraham kids today through this wicked court system, calling him Lord. That was her showing the doggone respect, the reverence, the honor, submission, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord or Master. And you are her children if you do good and do not fear anything that is frightening. Great example. Titus chapter 2, verse 1 through 8. But as for you, teach what accords with sound doctrine. Man, there ain't no condemnation in you teaching what's righteous. When you start teaching all this other stuff, that's when you're going to find all these doggone trials and tribulation. Older men are to be sober-minded, dignified, self-controlled, sound in faith, in love, and in steadfastness. Older women likewise are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderers or slaves to much, listen to that, much wine. Much wine. Didn't say you can't drink. Drunkenness is a sin. It says the drunkards will not inherit the kingdom. Too much wine. There's a point to where we all know when we've had too much. Listen to what I'm saying. You have one, all is good. For some, they go to two. Daughters of Zion, you start shaking it for everybody. You behind closed door, different story. Start having 2 and 3, you black out, can't remember nothing. Now you don't know who the baby daddy is. Not slanderers or slaves to much wine. They are to teach what is good. Man, mothers out here will be held accountable just like fathers will be. Man, if you taught your daughter be strong, be independent, go to college, and you knew your daughter was going to rack up some bodies up in there, that hope you repented for that. Hope you repented for that. Same way, fathers. You taught your kids to go out and see the world. Yeah, you get out in this world, have all the booty you want. Told them to be lawless. You better hope you repented for that. And so train the younger women. It's telling you what to teach. You don't have no excuse to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled, pure, working at home, and submissive to their own husbands, that the word of Yah may not be reviled. Likewise, urge younger men. Here's the instruction right here. Oftentimes, people want to focus on that, but he gives instruction to younger men. You see these younger men out here, chances are they flapping in the wind. Got all that doggone testosterone and hormones and ain't using none of it for righteousness. To be self-controlled, show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works. Younger men, when you out here dating, trying to find a wife, either you showing yourself as a model of good works or you're not. If you want to take on a lead role and you want a wife, communicate that. I'm telling you right now, because your parents, chances are they not telling you this. That warm and fuzzy feeling, oh yeah, you know, we fine, we just vibing. Heck no. Is this woman going to love you through obedience? What is your expectations of her? Because if you choose her and she don't know what expectations she's supposed to have of you, that's your fault. A lot of younger men want to choose ignorant women so they can doggone defile them. Supposed to be a model of good works as a younger man. Mothers out here, how you letting your daughters go with these men that's doggone plum fools, lawless, sloths, dope dealers, drug dealers, pants hanging off their butt? Show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching, show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned. Man, when you think about, I think about the younger years of my life, man, I thought working 40 hours a week, you know, getting off on the weekends, Friday night, Saturday night, I thought I had arrived, made it. Going to the club 2 nights a week, sometimes going to ladies' night, hadn't arrived no damn where. What are you celebrating? What are you celebrating at that doggone age? You got some people still living like that, 40 and 50 years old, still in there. The younger men that didn't show themselves a model of good work, now you the sugar daddy in the club. Come in, girl. Model of good works in teaching, show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned, so that the opponent, as Hasatan, may be put to shame, having nothing evil to say about us. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. An excellent wife. Just because you got a piece of paperwork and you've been made a wife, don't make you an excellent wife. You're going to find out on Judgment Day if you don't come into knowledge of the truth. But she who brings shame is like a rottenest bones. Time your husband tell you to do something and you want to tell him your will instead of your desire being unto him and fulfilling his will, rottenness in his bone. Ain't no way to put it. We ain't gonna sugarcoat this. You say you love truth. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3 through 5. The husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights. Shouldn't have no problem with that. Shouldn't have not one problem with that. You know why? Because before you was doggone married, you was in fornication. You were giving it away to everybody, telling your boys about it. Yeah, you know what? That was good. Ain't had no problem with that. And likewise, the wife to her husband. Where do we catch the contention? Man tell you something you don't want to hear. All of a sudden, you sick. You got a headache. You ain't feeling it. It's that time. Come on now. You know I ain't making this up. For the wife does not have authority over her own body. So that's a mission right there. But the husband does. Likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body. Man, it's lawful for you to give your doggone wife conjugal rights. And likewise, it don't matter what you feel leaning on your own understanding. Do not deprive one another except perhaps by agreement for a limited time. This is what I want to talk to you about. People talking about, well, we separate. And they using this as a judgment. Well, we separated. Separating, busting down cheeks and getting busted open. That's what's happening. I caution you there. Do not deprive one another except perhaps by agreement for a limited time, that thou may devote yourself, not no agreement to go out here and be lawless, that you may devote yourselves to prayer. Man, we just separate for a little bit. So I'm gonna just have me something on the side, you know. We going through a rough phase, so I'm gonna have me a side dude. No, you're supposed to devote yourself to prayer. That's the reason the problem get worse. But then come together again so that Satan might not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. You're going to be burning in that bed, rubbing your toes together, want somebody to give you them conjugal rights, and it should be coming from your husband. Same thing, man. You can be sitting up there thirsty, foaming at the mouth, when you're supposed to be devoted in prayer. Conjugal rights supposed to come from your woman, but you foaming at the mouth, thirsty, and everybody, all these doggone women know you thirsty. Ecclesiasticus 7 verse 15. Hey, this is where we come to a monumental point. Let me tell you something. Man, you might want to wake up. You might want to wake up. You might think you're a man's man, but you walking around in the body of a man, but the spirit of a man ain't in you. Hate not laborious work. Hate not laborious work. Neither husbandry. I enjoy being a husband. To the fullest extent. I'd rather be a husband than a single man. You know? Which the Most High Yah hath ordained. Nowhere in this book did he say any of this was going to be easy. You know, this stuff will be hard for you if you don't want to make it to the kingdom. If you want to make it to the kingdom, you will do your best to put forth a good effort to obey what's in this word, be filled with the spirit of truth so you can walk in it, so you can have eternal life. Hate not laborious work. You know, you a man out here, you better learn ways to keep that house, because what's in this world, who's coming to unclog your toilet, fix your doorknobs, chances are she might be thirsty for that joker, because he got the spirit of a man in him. Look, he got the spirit of a man in him. Every time something happens, you call somebody. You ain't trying to figure nothing out, get the wisdom. There's no excuse these days. All this information out here on YouTube, you don't want to do nothing. Hate not laborious work, neither husbandry. Man, let me tell you something. It is expensive. It is expensive to be a man that does not seek wisdom and constantly try to learn. It's expensive. Your toilet get clogged. Your wife is screaming, oh, it's poop everywhere. It's poop everywhere. Cost you $200. You get that done in the middle of the night. But you could have just got on this. You get on there for everything else to see the statistics of football, college football, all that. Get on there to learn how the dog gonna be a man, unclog that toilet. Get in a real shitty situation. Which the Most High hath ordained. Got some men out here that want the booty, but don't want to fulfill the duty. Don't want to work. She gonna work, but I don't want to work. What? Where they do that at? Talking about you know these scriptures, you read the Bible. You ain't obeying none of it. One thing I want you to realize that if someone, man or woman, is not in their place according to the will of Yah, there will be a divide. You're going to see it. You're going to see somebody in the word, and then you're going to see behind the scenes somebody not doing it. So pay attention. You will see who in the household has the spirit of truth, and those that reject it, you're going to see it. You're going to see who's in a rightful role, whether they're supposed to be in a lead role or a supporting role. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34 through 36. Think not that I come send peace on them. People that say he came to send peace, tell you they coming after the workings of Hasatan. I don't know what book you reading. I came not to send peace, but a sword. He's not patting you on the back with that sword. For I come to set a man at variances against his father, and daughter against her mother, and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. And a man's foe, his enemy, shall be they of his own household. That's where Shep message today, spiritual warfare, Jezebel, Ahab, talking about that. That's your enemy in your house. You talking about close quarters combat? Close quarters combat. You trying to implement structure because you once been lawlessness. Now the Most High Yah put you in a lead role and you know it. And you got somebody making Molotov cocktails in the bathroom, throwing them at you, trying to burn you up. Talking about some spiritual warfare. And you need some advanced tactics. When you talking about close quarters combat, you got to know how to clear a room, get in there and realize them spirits and know what to say on the back end of that. If not, you're gonna get taken out. A lot of men today that call themselves leading their family by following Messiah are not willing to give everything. As a woman, if a man can be leveraged by you as a wife or by things of this world, you are not going to get the highest level of leadership Yah would have you have. Luke chapter 14, verse 26. If any man comes to me and hates not his father, mother, wife, and brother and sisters, yet his own life, he cannot be my disciple. So men out here that's stuck in a hard place. Man, I can't put that in place, man. I can't do that. I'm gonna lose my wife. I'm gonna lose you. You're gonna lose them in the end anyway. Might as well get them gone. They don't want to obey Yah. Might as well get them gone. You sitting up there sugarcoating people's ears, not living according to the will of Yah instead of speaking truth. Well, I go to this Baptist church and we follow Messiah. Wait a minute, now we on you. This ain't a group thing at Judgment Day. It's not a group thing. It's an individual. It's an individual task. You had the opportunity to set the thing straight, but you didn't want to go through that warfare. You wanted to experience all the valor at the end. That's what you call stolen valor. You want all these badges, awards, and ribbons, but you ain't been through no conflict. This is where Messiah gets real intimate with you. Hey, I know a lot of y'all walking behind me. When you look at the context, I know a lot of y'all walking behind me. We've been walking for a long time. But let me tell you something. If you come to me and hate not your father, I'm talking about your father, the one that you threw a football with, the one that you think can't do you no harm, your mother. They gave you first example of what love is, and possibly you found out it wasn't love. And children, the ones you didn't pour it into, the ones you planted, the ones that came out between your legs, your brothers, your blood brothers, your sister. Matter of fact, that ain't enough. Your own life. You cannot be my disciple. Let me tell you something. When you are in line with this as a man, You can't be leveraged. I tell you, I lose the house, I lose the car, the job, I'll be homeless under a bridge, resting on the Shabbat. I'm telling you, you cannot be leveraged. You cannot be leveraged. This is why you got a lot of these pulpit pimps that can't teach a weightier message. That's why everything they teach is lukewarm and motivated. First lady over there tearing their ass up when they get in the car. I don't know why you was talking on that. Nobody told you to teach that. Why you're soft and effeminate. That's why you get a double judgment. Ain't gonna be no double honor. You've been in there tickling folk ears instead of speaking true. But hey, you doggone get in that car, you ride home and just quiet. You know, get hot up in there, the windows start fogging up. Who told you to teach on this subject? That's how you know. That's how you know. But I guarantee you, you want to follow Messiah for real as a man, you better get to know that one right there. Because he might put you on a mission of no return, but I guarantee you it's eternal life at the end of it. You think about this. Messiah being a single man, not focused on entertaining women, was a man that knew no sin. Perfect example. Think about the conflict Messiah would have had if he had to deal with Eve. Most of y'all probably would have had to send somebody else. Messiah, as bold as he was, he might have been caught up in some sin, might have went upside her head. He might have Ric Flair. Ah! Think about that. And that's the example that the Most High Yah gave us. Gave us somebody that couldn't be leveraged. Men out here, your job, your car, the money in the bank, opportunities, status, all that stuff don't mean nothing in the end. You can be leveraged. Hasatan knows this. How many of these celebrity men that was hoping for fame, hoping for success, then got bent over behind these deals of Hasatan behind closed doors? And you wondering why you seeing these celebrity men flaming like hot Cheetos out here. Married, got some kids. I'm talking about lower than down low. We talking about under the sea. Low. But here's the thing. A masculine woman is always going to be attracted to a doggone effeminate man. That way you can doggone keep leadership over him. A masculine man, he's going to be attracted to a feminine woman. There's going to be contention if you got some doggone breasts and some booty and you got a masculine spirit on you. There's going to be some serious contention up in there. 1 John chapter 2, verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keep not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Men out here, hey, I got the biggest thing, man. Back when I was dragging that tree up in there and we riding in the car, looking at lights and doing all this, and we listening to these songs, Santa Claus. It wasn't no truth in me at all. At all. That's what the family enjoyed. What the family enjoy is not always the will of Yah if they don't enjoy righteousness. Somebody got to set the example. How many brothers out there had their doggone wife and kids uprooted because they started keeping the Sabbath? Well, you can do that, but we ain't gonna do that. Some kind of submission that is. You love them with your lips. Only currency is obedience and submission. Luke chapter 12, verse 48. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whom so much is given, of him shall be much required, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. Man, as a man, when you have a family, you have to be willing to go all in. You got some of these men that get with a woman, they'll be working a job, and this woman will be coming out of this world system. She'll be working a job, and these men think all of a sudden they can work less. Y'all doing what married people do, baby come up, you still got this mindset of you can work less. Man, I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't hate your doggone husbandly duties. Man, if you got to work 1, 2, 3 jobs to make a way, do it. Do it. You know, I'm gonna tell you something, because I guarantee if you sitting around being lazy, working 40 hours a week, all up under your woman, she ain't gonna appreciate you when you could be out there working. That word say 6 days you shall labor. You've been given a woman to lead. You've been given some kids to set an example for. Most High y'all blessed you with this. Whether you realize it or not, he didn't have to. He didn't have to let your sperm pretty much swim uphill, 1 in a million chance for one of them sperms to survive and to bring. You've been fighting an uphill battle your whole life. Louis Farrakhan said that. He's talking about sperm. And you think this thing supposed to be easier. You're going to have to work. We got men nowadays, they hear a strange noise at the house. You got a whole man up laying in the bed next to you, and he got the spirit of a woman. You ask your man, did you hear something? He's like, no, I ain't hear nothing, because he don't want to go check it out. Joke act like he can't hear you and let you go out there and do it. You go check it out. I don't know how my wife got snatched up like this because you didn't want to be a man. Most time I tell you to sell your cloak, go get you a sword. You a 911 brother. I'm gonna call 911 instead of protecting your family. Ain't no 911 in this book. Look, so a lot more required of you. You got more lives to look over and to look after. Ecclesiastes 10:7. I have seen serpents upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. That's ass backwards. And this is the way a lot of these houses is ran. The man will be in a supporting role. Woman in a leading role. Kids lawless. Ain't nobody keeping the commandments, fearing Yah. Daughters look like young whores. Son look like young sissies. I've seen servants upon horses. Servants supposed to be on a horse? Or the princes walking as servants on the earth? Prince is supposed to be on the horse. Luke 14:28. For which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? I'm going to tell you where, man, you lose a lot of credibility. This is where you lose a lot of credibility right here. You out here dating in this world. You come across a young lady. You want to fornicate with her. Baby come out of that. Or you saying things like, yeah, I want, we just kicking it. We know what just kicking it mean. You want to have all this sex in the world. You want all the booty, don't want to fulfill a duty, but you didn't count the cost of your actions. Baby come forth. No, you don't need to keep it. Dang. How you love the Most High Yah and you told her to commit murder. That was the advice you gave her. You was at that moment, you planted seed in her. You was in a doggone lead role. Men out there, if I'm talking to you, hey, repent for that. Repent for that. You didn't want the responsibility. You wanted to rub on a booty, rub on some bread, all this stuff. Planting seed, but didn't want life to come forth. Who go buy a pack of seeds in Lowe's, put them in some fertile soil, and don't expect nothing to sprout? Happening every day. Happening every day out there. I don't never go to Lowe's and be like, man, let me find some of these seeds that don't sprout. Happens every day. While a lot of these daughters of Zion have had their virtue taken away because these men didn't count the cost. You out here saying, you know what? Man, I'm only working as a man right now. I'm only working 4 days a week, and I barely can take care of myself. I don't have a whole lot of debt. Maybe I need to work these 6 days, and maybe that'll be the answer. Maybe then I can start having some more resources to be able to take care of a woman. I didn't say you got to be able to buy everything a woman everything she wants, but the necessity, that's on you. You got brothers getting pride. I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. Planted a whole lot of seed out here, and when it came time to answer up, I didn't always get the best doggone guidance. More times out of none, I gave the wrong guidance. Know why? Wasn't taught no better. You know, you have to count the cost. You laying down, you married, you having baby. Hey, it's gonna cost. Hey, we gonna hey, them pants right there that came, only got 6 months worth of wear. Let's put them in a box because we're gonna keep on righteously. Say them pants, don't get them away. If I'm building this house the way I want to build it, hey, we're gonna have some more pop forth. Somebody else gonna wear them pants. Be able to tell somebody a real story about somebody that walked in them shoes because somebody else really walked in them. Look, nowadays it's expensive because nobody has a prudent mindset. How many people with 3-4 kids bought a brand new stroller every time versus taking that stroller? Let's hold on to that. We bought good one time. Let's hold on to that. What happened? The world is in this spring cleaning mode. You go get rid of that stroller, pop up pregnant 2 months later. I guarantee you this: a good pair of work boots would be better for these young men than all these damn Jordans. Good pair of work boots. Get them good and dirty as they can be. Versus trying to keep a pair of Jordans clean and you lazy as all get out. Man, you have to count the cost on this. If you are relying on the system as a man, it's going to be expensive. If your woman relies on the system, it's going to be expensive. Most High Yah gave you this land, you can eat from it. You're a man that don't want to hunt, going to be expensive. Little thing of beef be $20. And you don't have no other choice because you don't want to go about it the old ways, the old paths. I'm not saying you're able to do all of this, but wherever you can, get in where you can. Get you a fishing pole. Learn that. I'm from the city and trying to learn how to hunt because I didn't grow up around that. I grew up around Pepe Le Pew's, GQ's. Look the part instead of being the part. That's what I grew up with. Get back to them old paths, man. It doesn't have to be as expensive. You see these people, you see these Israelites getting these deers and they eating off of them. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. My people, infants are their oppressors and women rule over them. You got some men that's in a situation like that because they don't want to take a lead role, nor do they want to go through spiritual warfare. In order for victory to happen, there's going to be some warfare. Somebody's got to be the loser. And I'm hoping you're banking on Hasatan losing, because if not, women going to rule over you. Oh, my people, your guides misleads you, and they shall swallow up the course of your path. Man, there's so much in this teaching, so much teaching that you can constantly hit over this. I tell you, if people heard about this, people would say, man, we've heard this before. Some of these scriptures, we've heard this before. But when you look at the average young man and woman walking around out there, have they heard it enough to the point where they say, man, I don't want to hear this again, so let me start obeying? No. That's why we got so many problems in the world. You got these people that run and go get this, you go sign this paperwork. Let me show you down in the courthouse. 2 men sign this paperwork. I take you, Steve, to be my husband. I take you, Bill, to be my husband. Sign that paperwork. Y'all ain't nowhere in the mix. Same thing. How many daughters of Zion out here want a husband? All hands go up. Yeah, I deserve it. I deserve it. How many of y'all want to be a wife? According to this book. Hands go down. Hands go down. Men out here, how many of y'all know what it actually takes to be a husband? I tell you, man, there will be a great reward for the men that are patient. Keeping them commandments. Don't let them be burdensome because your flesh is burning you up. And you just want to do what all these red pill brothers telling you to do. Get you a rotation and you're not fulfilling the duty to none of them. Man, a great reward in you patiently obeying the will of Yah. Same thing, daughters of Zion. You got some daughters of Zion out here that are dealing with spirits they don't even know that they need deliverance out of just because of the life that they live. You wonder why you struggling in marriage. You in a relationship spiritually with 20 other men. Them thoughts that come from your head come from them lawless men that you entertain. You got to think a woman is a receptacle. She's a field, fertile. Most of y'all teach you a good lesson. You living in sin, all the men you laying down, guess what? Hey, we're gonna let that sperm that's traveling upstream, we're gonna let that one survive. 1 in a million. Now you think about career, you think about family, you think about, man, I wasn't ready for this. Hey, you was doing big business. That's why I said you could teach on this 52 weeks in a year. You could teach on this half the year and it would do some good. You wouldn't have all these doggone divorces. You wouldn't have all these doggone masculine women. You wouldn't have all these effeminate men, these lazy sons, and these rebellious dogs. You wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have it. It's a doggone shame. These men are playing, these young men is playing Call of Duty, NBA Live, 2K, all the way up until 18 years old, ain't been programmed to doggone know how to lead a woman. But you got the highest score on Call of Duty. Know how to make a mean hot pocket. Want a woman to get in there and slave in that kitchen over you, and you don't even know how to give her the leadership that she needs. Same thing. You said you know how to shop. You know how to spend that money, but the word says a prudent wife is from the Lord. You know how to spend that money. Online shopping, you spend it up. Even if the Most High Yah blessed you with a man that made 300,000, $500,000. Look at what these women doing with these men. They ain't doing them nothing righteous. You sit up with daughters, sitting in front of that doggone vanity instead of teaching them the ways of old, how to sew. Well, mama, this stuff that they make out here, it's hard to be modest. Well, hey, that's a good thing. Let me pull this sewing machine out. We're going to add some material on it. Ain't nobody else going to have your dress because this one custom. Ain't nobody teaching that. This is why we could constantly use this over and over and over and over again. Those that have ears to hear, let them hear. Everybody ain't going to receive it. If you was to teach this in Sunday in Christendom and keep doing it, guess what? They'd be out of business. You know why? Because ain't nobody paying to hear this. Them jokers go get their ears tickled and empty out their wallet to get their ears tickled and continue to live lawless, and the family keeps suffering. All them doggone single women in the church that say they want a husband, send them this way. Go see how bad you want it. All the men that want a doggone wife, send them this way. We're going to see how bad you want a wife. We're going to see. And if you doggone sitting up here talking about you put the kids first and you think a man put something, heck no. Stay where you at. Keep keep your money. Keep your money. I don't want it. It ain't gonna profit me in the end. Y'all provide everything I need. Man, let me get in these comments and give the just due for tuning in. We got Maurice Delva. Shabbat Shalom. Jamie Durant. Shabbat Shalom. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Timothy Shropshire. Nathaniel Nelson. Shabbat Shalom. We got McCoy White. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Man, if you know somebody that's currently in the position, they in a relationship, they're in a covenant, and you see that they struggling because you once was struggling too, send them this. Send them this. You'd be surprised, man. Somebody can watch something that pierces their flesh. They be offended now. Hey, shout out Jamie Durant, Shabbat Shalom, David Motley. They might be offended today, but as long as truth, they keep hearing that and keep trying the same thing and it causes them to fail, they have no choice but to get closer to the truth. I don't know how many times you can try the ways of the world, continue to fall while avoiding the truth, and you got to bobble this whole time. So send this to somebody. You know that stuff is a little out of order, a little strange. Send it to them. Tell them you love them. Probably this is the first chance, the first opportunity in life that somebody loved them enough to tell them the truth, rather tickle their ears. You know, when I'm giving this right here, it's the Most High Yah allowing me to give this message. It's not advice. I'm giving truth. Most people rather hear advice, but the thing about advice is, if your pride is in the way, somebody gives you advice. Let me give you some advice. It go in one ear out the other. You can't avoid truth. You cannot avoid truth. Somebody come up to ask you, I don't know why my woman disrespect me. Hey, man, maybe you don't have the spirit of a man. What you mean by that? Hey, they might be mad. I don't know why my husband does this. Well, maybe you don't win him over with your conduct. Give him the truth. How many people call you trying to give you a problem and they want to hear advice that they don't want to actually do? No, give them the truth. Save you some time in the end. Start giving more truth. Stop trying to spare people feeling and give them the truth of the Most High Yah. Don't give them the truth leaning on your own understanding. Give them that word. Man, if your husband is such a sinner, what's the chances that you could be a wicked woman? Let's say, have you ever read Ecclesiastes 25 and 26? See which one you fit. That'll give you the answer. Everything you need to do right there. Give them the truth. Give them the truth. Man, my woman masculine. She might be masculine because you up on Call of Duty, telling her to cut the yard. I don't want to cut the grass. I'm almost at the final mode. You go cut it. Give them the truth. Man, I don't know why she talking crazy, man. Probably because you're always in these streets. She got to deal with your sons that you should be pouring into. I'm at the point where I don't have no time for advice because people let that go in one ear out the other. It's all true. You don't want it from this word, I can't help you. Can't help you. It's too easy. People call you, man, I don't know why I'm so broke, man. It's so hard out here. Quit buying all them doggone shoes. You got more shoes than you do feet. I don't know why my doggone, this is so lazy. Hey, you didn't made him like a little girl. He entitled, spoiled. Give people the truth. Guarantee that phone will stop ringing so much. They'll be like, yeah, I can't call him. That brother came with the truth. That sister came with the truth. I don't know why my man consistently always going to find these other women. Dang, maybe these women, they not only they giving up the booty, but they cooking a meal. like come on, every time you cook something, you throwing it in the microwave. You done gave this man on 3 medications. He got high blood pressure, he got gout because you can't cook. And ain't trying to learn. You trying to get the promotion at job, but ain't trying to learn how to get promoted in that kitchen. Give them the truth. It'll do them more good than it will tickling their ears, trying to spare their feelings. Man, I hope you guys got something out of it. You guys have a blessed day. Continue to rest. It's all love. Glory to the Most High Yah. The day of judgment is near. Repent for your sins. The King is coming. Go in peace. Go in love. Shabbat Shalom.